getting rougher every week. I'm gonna have to talk to Metron about this. Oh, what a rough ride. Oh my god. There's someone spying at me. Is it Facebook? Is it YouTube? Well, yeah, it is. Anyway, now what am I taking off my glasses? I think I look more handsome with them on. Anyway, welcome once again to that show that you love to watch every late Thursday night, brought to you from the way distant reaches of North America, as far as you can go off the east coast of North America before hitting Ireland. As far east as you can get in North America, we come to you from a secret location hidden deep within the bowels of historic downtown St. John's. Comes in the Library of Graphic Literature with your host, me. Hey, how's it going, folks? I love to give that a spin every so often. I love that sound. Oh, so it's been a very busy week out here. Last Friday we had our War and Comics exhibition with myself, Paul Tucker, Jason Lutz, and Scott Chandler, and it was a great time. Our speeches went pretty good, and I had a great chat with the guys, and we went to a great after party at Nancy's. Great time, Nancy. And overall, just had a good time. So thank you once again to the sponsors of it, and hopefully we're going to be seeing more and more of these comic book events way out here in St. John's, Newfoundland. So who knows, you in the creative community, we may get you out here someday soon. Okay, I got a neat little stack of books here, so we'll go through this. I've been trying actually to keep my shows under 20 minutes, but sometimes it does get hard because I yammer on and on and on and on. So forgive me if that happens. So first of all, the first thing here today is this baby, Miles Morales. It's the Miles Morales, the Ultimate Spider-Man Omnibus. Looks pretty cool, hey? This is brought to us by Mr. Bendis and Sarah Pacelli, David Marquez, and Justin Ponsor. So let's open it up here. Love cracking these seals here. Oh, a bit of a bent corner there. Okay. Get away with that. And, yeah, otherwise, a pretty nice book. So let's have a look at the inside here. Now, this is a book I haven't read yet. But my good buddy Dennis Osborne tells me that it's worth reading. And I know it's worth reading because he ordered one too. So for you Spider-Man fans, check it out. The artwork looks great, but he assures me the stories are top notch. So I can't wait to get my paws into this one. That's pretty neat. I always did like Bendis' stuff. Sometimes it can be hit and miss, but for the most part, I've liked his stuff. Especially his earlier stuff, though. I'm a big fan of that sort of thing. Anyway, so that is Miles Morales, the Ultimate Spider-Man. Now, I'm not as big a Spider-Man fan as some folks, but hey, I still like him. Now, and this is, I'm sending this out actually to all the people on the Marvel Masterworks message boards out there. Hi guys and girls. Thanks for being such a great crowd. If anyone's not on those boards, you should check them out. There's a lot of great conversations going on there about comics, and everyone seems to be really friendly. So this one's for all you folks. So, and the one we're looking at today, the Marvel Masterworks we are examining today, is Ant-Man Giant Man, Volume 3. Can you believe it? Volume 2 was put out a long time ago. But that was all the Kirby stuff. And the early Ant-Man and Giant-Man and Wasp stuff. Let's tear this loose. Let's get down. Now the cool thing about this book, more than anyone else, is that I owned probably every single comic that's in this book, from the Ant-Man that we find in Marvel Features, to the Black Goliath, to the Marvel Premiere, the Byrne, and the introduction of Scott Lang. And of course there's also the Champions, his appearance in the Champions, stuff like that. So it's kind of neat. It's neat that this book really does contain, like I say, one of the things that I use in terms of judging whether or not to buy a book sometimes is if it was in my childhood collection. So a lot of times if I see something I had when I was a teenager in my collection, I'll buy it. Every single one of these was in it. But this, it's quite cool, because a lot of the earlier ones, you'll see some early P. Craig Russell, there's some Herb Trimpe, there's even a bit of Jim Starlin, and Rich Buckler, of course, the great Rich Buckler. So it's definitely worth checking out. As far as writers go, Mike Frederick, Tony Isabella, Bill Mantlo, Chris Claremont, David Michelin, and Roy Thomas. So overall, this is actually a pretty good Marvel Masterworks. Now there, of course, is that's the Herb Trimpe stuff. Kind of like Herb's stuff. That I do believe that looks like the Sterling, I think. But yeah, I had every single one of these when I was young. Oh, here's the Craig Russell stuff. Now it's not quite up to his Killraven stuff, but it's getting there. George Tuska here with Black Goliath, which I actually collected way back then too. Kind of liked it. And I actually was a bit of a George Tuska fan. I kind of liked his stuff when I was growing up. And then we get into the Champions, because of course Black Goliath was in the Champions. Now of course I've double dipped with this because I have this in the Champions Masterworks. But overall, some really good. Oh, and then here's the classic Marvel Premiere Ant-Man, where we're introduced to Scott Lang, the sort of new age Ant-Man. So that one, not too bad either. So I highly recommend that. So that goes out to all you Masterworks fans out there on those bulletin boards. Check them out, folks. So yeah, this one I highly recommend. Volume 3 of Ant-Man, Giant-Man. Oh, next, here comes something. Now I have the first volume of this, but it's still in the reading stack, so I haven't had a chance to read it. But I don't care, because it's by Matt Kindt, Grass Kings. Of course, everything I've read by Matt Kindt I've loved. So to me, I pick it up on his when it has his name alone attached to it. I like the art style. It's sort of reminiscent in a way of Matt's own drawing style. But I do like this style too. But yeah, huge Matt Kindt fan. I loved Mind Management and Department H. So check it out. He's one of the lights of the newer generation of comic book artists. Now let's see. We're coming towards the last couple here. Actually, let's go through these first. Next is from PS Artbooks comes Dark Mysteries. So these, once again, everyone, you all know how I love these PS Artbooks. They have kind of a really neat, like I say, pulpy feel to them. So I love these. Features people like Hollingsworth, Harrison, Fleischman. But like I say, once again, I love these because, you know, they're just darn cool. Now let's see. These were originally from Master Comics, I do believe. Once again, really cool art and great ads, stuff like that. To me, it feels like they've bound some of these old comics into a book and have sold them to you, like I say, with the ads and everything, which are really cool. Dark Mysteries. I love the, like I say, there's just something so cool. There's something lurid and dated about the stuff, but it's dated in such a way that is really cool in my mind. These, of course, are what oh, there you go, there's from, and these are what we like to call, and which are actually called on these, pre-code classics. So a lot of these are books that came out before the Comics Code came along. Now this stuff here, Dark Mysteries, this is 52 and 53. But like I say, really cool looking. Gets a kiss. Well, all the PS Artbooks get a peck on the cheek. Now here comes Weird Horrors from St. John Comics. St. John Comics, it's one of those defunct comic book companies from the 50s. What was his name? Archer St. John. That was his name, the publisher. And he was a fascinating character. Oh, listen, see, there's a bus passing by. Excuse the extraneous noise. But he was a fascinating character. His brother actually was a famous reporter too, who apparently lived until he was 100. I think his brother was actually the first reporter or journalist to report the end of World War II. So that's pretty cool. And but Archer, I mean, he had some really cool titles, a few superhero titles, but St. John Comics is considered one of the cool 50s comic book companies, or at least one of the ones I like. See, oh, look at that. Cowboy outfits. Shocking now. But yeah, there's just something, oh, I love these these ads here. I mean, they are cool. But yeah, there's just something about these PS Artbooks that I absolutely adore. Now, there's a lot of good people in this book too. A lot of cool artists. Have a look there, huh? Fun time. What's this here? Angel Chimes. How's that? So yeah, there's George Tuska in here. Speak of the devil. Don Perlin, the legendary Don Perlin. Oh, there's the and others. But like I say, these PS Artbooks, they're kind of cool. I think they're actually worth it. So if you like horror, especially old time, chintzy, kitschy type of horror, give that a shot. Now, last but definitely not least is Weird Fantasy, the EC Archives. Oh, excuse me, Volume 3. You know what? I've been yakking away all this time. I haven't had a sip of my tea. Let's remedy that. It's more Monsoon Mountain Tea. It's a new Earl Grey brand tea they're getting in, and it's absolutely fabulous. So that's a big shout out to you, Rebecca, out there across the pond there in Scotland. Okay, so we have here Weird Fantasy. Of course, I've been collecting all the EC books because EC Comics is so integral to the, in a lot of ways, to the history of comics. In a lot of ways, it was, I mean, it wasn't alone, it wasn't the only one, but it basically was part of the milieu. It's what basically brought upon the Comics Code Authority, which was too bad because, of course, EC was, at least their titles were more or less wiped out by the Comics Code, and they were left standing with only Mad magazine left. Only. At the time, Mad was huge, and it continued to be huge, so, you know, he kept on going. But we lost a lot of really good comics in that disaster. Now, this one here, I love these here. I do believe there's a lot of Wally Wood in here. So let's see, Wally Wood, Jack Kamen, also a favorite of mine. Joe Orlando, and, oh, Al Williamson, Frank Frazetta, and Roy Krenkel. Dig that. So, more Al Williamson, Jack Kamen, Williamson and her, Joe Orlando, Al Williamson, Jack Kamen. So yeah, so a couple of, oh, Bill Elder even. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Williamson, Krenkel, Wood. Oh, well, big fan of EC Comics in general. I love the surprise endings of them. I mean, I know they're kind of corny in some ways, but they're kind of cool in others. So, so once again, another addition to the EC archives. I love the fact that it's the exact same in there inside as on the dust jacket. Oh, there's someone trying to phone in to me. Anyway, go away. So here we go. Weird fantasy. There's a Kamen stuff there. I love his style. His son actually was it his son? Jack Kamen, Dean Kamen? Yeah, he created the Segway. How's that for a bit of trivia for you? And here's some of the immortal Wally Wood. As I like to call him, Wallace Wood, because I know a lot of us Wallaces hate being called Wally. That's another thing. Please don't call me Wally. So, beautiful, beautiful. Like I say, the EC really set the standard in terms of just quality artwork, great storytelling, cool stories. Especially, well, I mean, Mad Magazine was revolutionary at the time, so I mean that, let alone Tales from the Crypt, everything else that came out from the fine folks at EC. But I love the fantasy, I love weird fantasy, I love the, what was the other one there, the sci-fi one, weird science, crime suspense stories. Actually, they were a favorite of mine too. But like I say, weird fantasy, volume 3, definitely worth picking up. And these, I definitely would give a kiss to. So, top notch, pick up one of these. Coming up in the next, someone suggested to me on the message boards about doing a, featuring some artist editions and all that, and I think I might even do a special show just featuring them. Maybe on some week when there's not a lot of comics or whatever, we'll take a break and do a special edition. Let's give that a spin another. Well, that's it for this week, folks. I hope I kept it under 20 minutes this time. And let me know too if you think 20 minutes is fine. If 20 minutes is fine, we'll keep doing those 20-minute chats. Otherwise, that's it for me for tonight. I'm going to get another cup of tea, and I'm going to post this video to YouTube. And remember, subscribe too, as Sophia would always tell me to tell you folks. Subscribe to my channel, and have a beautiful weekend. Love to all you comic book fans out there, and keep on reading. With that, I am called to the wonderful fields of New Genesis. Oh my God, or is it Apocalypse? Oh no, oh my God, look at the size of that boom tube there. Okay, see you next week. Yeah!